Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the TMZ Podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton, and today I'm joined by my good friend and producer of the podcast.
I am.
A man only known as Wyld.
I did like Beyonce. Just wild. Just
You're
wild.
Running wild.
Hello, Charlie. We got some exciting stories today.
Yes, we certainly do. We have Aaron Rodgers. Is his career over? He tore his Achilles last night. Huge injury, out for the season potentially. It was one of the biggest trades in the NFL. It's ended in disaster.
Hopefully not disaster, but it seems a little disastrous.
It is. Are you a sports guy?
I'm a semi-sports dude.
Are you a porn guy?
I am.
Because the next story...
I go, aren't we all?
Yeah. We're going to talk about the Virginia candidate. That's Virginia. Her name is Susanna Gibson. She is running for office, and she won the Democratic primary. Well, it just came out that she's a bit of a porn star. She's been on this site Chatterbait doing live streaming stuff, and so all those videos coming out. Republicans are mad. So we'll talk about that. But off the top, NSYNC, it seems like they're getting back together. It seems like the reunion is on.
No, this is the biggest story, I think, of today. And I love when the internet does things that are like, okay, the internet, we do a really good job of putting little tea leaves together to try to figure out what situations are. And I think this is a good example of the internet doing the internet's job.
This is a whole tree. It's not a tea.
It is literally, we just piece things together. So over the last few days, we've seen 3 of the 5 members of NSYNC in the New York City area. So we had Justin Timberlake was at the U.S. Open, and then he was at a Jets game last night.
Oh, the Aaron Rodgers game.
Yep, the Aaron Rodgers game.
Yep.
And then we saw Joey. He's somewhere in New York City. We saw him like snapping a picture just out and about. And then we saw Lance Bass at dinner in Manhattan.
Oh, wow. And we also saw that JC Chaz. We saw him on like a private plane. God knows he can't afford a private plane by himself.
So it's given someone flew him.
Yeah, it's giving JT flew him vibes. Because they're rumored to be coming back to the MTV Music Awards, the VMAs. Is that what they call the VMAs?
Yep, the VMAs.
They're definitely going to like present an award, but there's also speculation that they're going to do a song together. And that would be the 10-year anniversary of them performing, performing, which was at the VMAs.
And this is big because Justin Timberlake also, he has the new Trolls movie coming out. Of course, he's big on the soundtrack. That first, Can't Stop the Feeling, that was on the first Trolls movie.
That's a jam.
So NSYNC rumored to also have a track together for the new Trolls movie.
It's more than a rumor as well.
Like kind of confirmed. There's QR codes and posters that lead to a website with the NSYNC logo. So there'll be an NSYNC reunion of some kind in the new Trolls movie.
The Trolls movie is also about a band getting back together.
And it's like, it kind of seems like a full culmination of events.
Yes.
I have a thought on this though.
Go on.
If I was the other members of NSYNC, I would not be about this.
Oh, I love that. I even had that written down.
Really? I would be so
like JT has held out on them
for years,
forever. And now JT needs you for his new movie or something like that. If I was Lance Bass, even though I've got probably nothing else going on, I would hold out on JT.
I would not do it. I would not do it at all. I think the last time Justin Timberlake's album was in 2018, that Man of the Woods album.
It was a rubbish album.
Name a single. Can you name a single?
I'm in the mirror. Whoa.
No, that was not that was the wrong album. No, it was like the Filthy album.
Oh, remember, was it?
Put your filthy hands on me. It was that album, but like the songs weren't that great.
Now he's kind of fallen off a bit. I mean, the last good song I think he had was that Trolls song. That's not the feeling. Now that is a jam. But yeah, I totally agree with you that this guy has been the roadblock for the rest of the guys to get back together for so long. I'm not just putting pen and paper because he asked me. I think that's why I think they're like definitely getting back together. I'd say there's a really good chance they'll tour together. Oh. Because if I was JC, what's his nuts? Like I'd be dangling that.
No,
like,
for real.
If you want me to get back together for the Trolls movie, which you're going to profit from,
we need an album.
What am I going to get in return?
An album.
What
else?
Tour.
A tour.
Merch.
Maybe a documentary or something?
I think it's something else.
No, we need to really milk this cow at this point.
Oh, yeah, a Netflix documentary?
A documentary.
Yes, I could see all of that transpiring for sure. So, I mean, I mean, I'm not the biggest NSYNC fan in the world.
No, I'm a pretty big NSYNC fan.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, just because, I mean, I grew up here.
Yeah.
Did y'all not have NSYNC in Australia?
No, we did.
Okay.
We did. I mean, I'm just kind of a bit over it. I was more of a Backstreet guy.
Okay, all right. That makes sense, yeah.
Were you an NSYNC guy, not a Backstreet guy?
Yeah, no, Backstreet's a little old for me.
Oh, is it different ages?
Yeah, Backstreet's a few years, a little generation kind of before NSYNC.
Yeah, I was definitely Backstreet. Or,
Yeah.
Five? Have you ever heard of Five?
No.
Keep on moving on anyway. Get on up. Five.
No.
No one's heard of Five?
No.
Okay, maybe that was only Australia.
That was just in Australia.
Oh, man, our boy bands.
All right, so the VMAs are going down tonight, September 12th. So
Oh, that's a news flash to me. It's actually tonight.
It's today. Yep, will take place today.
Oh, wow.
So like you said, they're definitely presenting an award from what we hear, but we'll look out for that performance.
Oh, just so many breadcrumbs. It's just like, just give it to us already. You know what I mean?
Give it to us.
I hate all the teasing. They'll probably announce tonight.
Yeah.
They'll confirm everything tonight, I think. With it, we're getting back together. Isn't this exciting? You know what I mean?
People are also saying that Beyonce might announce something at the VMAs tonight.
I would love if Beyonce's announcement overshadows
Just
the NSYNC.
trumps the NSYNC reunion.
It just gets buried.
And Beyonce brings up Kelly and Michelle.
That'd
trump them. No.
That'd be so good.
All right.
Okay, on to our next story. Aaron Rodgers, your favorite football player?
Of course. He is actually my favorite person, like football player that is also a person.
Oh, is that right?
I know nothing about his athletic career, but like I kind of like him.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
he's like a problematic fave. You know how you have like people where they say problematic things, but you're like, I kind of
He's kind of marches to the beat of his own drum. Well, I mean, this was crazy because it was the most hyped NFL trade from the Packers to the Jets that I can even remember. And everyone was, I mean, I'm not even a huge sports fan, but I was tuning in to see the game.
Aaron was like campaigning for his trade for the Jets. Like it was a thing.
Well, he came out waving an American flag. It was 9/11 yesterday.
Yeah.
So he came out in New York waving an American flag. Everyone was like so hyped to see him take the field. Well, on his fourth snap, he'd been out there like 5 minutes.
6 minutes into the game.
He, from reports, he tore his Achilles, which is a terrible injury. Out for the season, if that's true. Which is just like, what a fall from grace. Like, everyone's so hyped and then everyone's so upset.
No, I feel like, and then anytime you tear an Achilles, that's almost like the kiss of death in sports. You never want to hear the word like Achilles or tear because you almost immediately presume that the person will be out for at least an extended period of time.
I mean, at least like, 12 months or so. Which makes, I mean, I was listening to Sports Talkback Radio today.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were speculating this could be the end of his football career because, he's not a young man.
Yeah, he is a little bit
I think he's
golden.
like 40 or something. He's old for a football player. And so for a young man to come back from an Achilles injury
for sure,
is hard, let alone a 40-year-old guy. So a lot of people speculate this could be the end of his NFL career.
I don't know. I feel like physically it might be the end of his NFL career, but I don't think it'll be the end of his professional career at all. I mean, I can see Aaron Rodgers doing like sports commentary. I just listened to an Aaron Rodgers podcast.
Yeah, I think his life after football will maybe be outside of sports, like
bigger than his time as a football player.
He's already kind of become a celebrity in the last few years. I mean, he's always been famous because he's a good football player, but in the last few years, it's like he's been tiptoeing into Hollywood. He even like hosted Jeopardy one time.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a figure now outside of just being an athlete, which I kind of like.
He'll host something or other.
We listen to him when he talks about his like ayahuasca trips and like the strange theories on medicine and things like that. But he's a person.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what he does. So when he signed with the Jets, it was for 3 years and $112 million. $75 million of which are guaranteed, no matter what. So potentially for like, there was 3 snaps and then the fourth he got injured. For potentially those 3 snaps, that's $25 million a snap.
Wait, so explain to me, because I don't really know sports like that.
Okay, I don't know sports very well either, but
here we go.
Away.
So if he signs for that amount, he's guaranteed $75 million. Does he have to play in order to get that guarantee? Or is it like the moment he signs on the paper, it's
guaranteed?
A guarantee?
Yeah. So it's $75 million guaranteed. And then, I guess there's, what's 112 minus 75? There's like 50.
Just some extra cash left on the table.
There's like 50 million in kind of performance bonus type
Gotcha,
stuff,
okay.
which obviously he won't, unless one of those 3 or 4 snaps was
Yeah, just
particularly
snap
amazing.
back.
I don't think he's getting any of that, but imagine that if he just retires on the back of this, which I think he'd be in his rights to do, being an old guy who's really hurt. He'd take home that 75 mil for those few snaps.
And just live his best life.
But Zach Wilson, the backup quarterback, he got to run on again, which means we got to see Zach Wilson's mum again. Zach Wilson's mum's like famous mum.
I was going to say, she's the star of the show, literally.
She's a hot mum. And so everyone always talks about Zach. So we can talk about her some more now, at least.
That has to be the worst thing in the world.
Oh.
Having a hot mom.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, kind of, my mom's kind of hot too.
Oh, she is?
Oh, yes. And it drives me insane.
Oh, was that tough growing up?
It is, because everyone's always like, oh, your mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
because you were around when like the term MILF was kind of invented.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's gross. Not sexy. Not cute.
But this guy has, now Zach Wilson might be the number 1 quarterback at the Jets. I mean, but it's terrible for that team because he was going to deliver them a Super Bowl, supposedly, Aaron Rodgers. And now it's like, will we even make the playoffs?
What do we do right now? And he spent so much money trying to obtain them. And it's like, and now he's
done.
He's done. Literally.
Could be done.
Yeah.
On to our final story.
Oh, I love this one.
Oh, this one is just...
For many reasons.
It's such a good story. A candidate in Virginia, her name is Susanna Gibson. She's a Democrat. She won her primary to get through to the general election. And now it has come out that she had a little bit of a porn career before running for office. Her and her husband, who's a lawyer, they were on this website, Chatterbait, which is basically, I mean, I don't have to tell you, Wyld.
I mean, I may not know what it is. It's a Chatterbait. It's like a webcam servicing app. So
it's live, you know.
Live webcam. You can chat with these people. You kind of pay a little extra to get them to do a little extra, and then they perform the acts on camera.
Yes. And so, yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, you know, TikTok Live, how you send roses and you send things and that. That's
but
like,
it's a lot sexual.
This is a
obviously.
sexual version of that. Well, I mean...
It's actually kind of old school. I'm like, Chatterbait's been around for a long time.
It has. I mean, OnlyFans is the new thing.
Yeah, no, Chatterbait's old.
Oh, Chatterbait's old. But, I mean, this lady, she made a lot of money doing that. She had 12, more than 12 romps with her husband on the platform. They talked in videos about how they've been swapping partners. I mean...
And they were some pretty relatively successful Chatterbait creators. They had over 5,000 followers on the app, which is like...
That's pretty good.
Pretty big for Chatterbait.
Yes. You know, I think that this, in different political times, this would be like, okay, career's over. In these political times, I mean, this could be great for business.
I kind of like her even more.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, she's real.
Yes.
So she started running for office. She initially started her campaign last year. So around that time, September 2022, all of the Chatterbait videos got mysteriously removed offline. But of course, there are people that like screenshot and save things. So this only just came out. I don't hate it.
No, I don't hate it at all.
I feel like I'm over this ideology of like, people don't watch porn. Like who don't watch some?
I mean, of course. I think this is going to be, you know, good for her, to be honest. And she had to expect when she announced her candidacy, and especially when she won her primary, that this was going to come out. Like, you know, the internet knows everything. The internet never forgets. Like, she must have known. I would have thought maybe it's even a calculated decision that this could be good for business. Do we know what has sort of like transpired since this news has come out? Has she been going up the polls, down the polls?
That
probably
we need
both.
To figure out. So she said that, you know, that she did it. She was raising money for a good cause. They talk about, it wasn't like from her explanation, it wasn't like a salacious, I'm like just trying to be a sex worker. It was something that they were doing for a reason. But regardless of the reason, I feel like people should be allowed to. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like,
I think this is a cool story rather than a shocking story.
Yeah, I think we need to stop shaming sex workers because we kind of all enjoy the products.
Yeah, I agree.
Justice for sex workers.
I agree with you, Wyld. And I think that if people go into the voting booth on election day, I said election, not. If people go into the voting booth, I really do think that potentially she could win some extra votes because of this. Because as Trump has taught us, everything's about attention. Everything's about making a name for yourself, staying in the news. I just think this is who would she turn off by doing this? I mean, maybe really old fuddy-duddies like
conservatives or something.
But they're already not going to vote for her anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, she's a Democratic candidate.
Yes. She could really win this.
What's her name again?
Susanna Gibson.
Susanna Gibson, you have my vote.
Yes.
Right? I'm telling right now, what's her husband do? Oh, he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
Doesn't really need a lot of votes. But
no, true.
But her campaign, they haven't immediately responded to just the public backlash of it all, which I think from a political standpoint, there's really nothing
to say.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I think maybe she'll come out and say something to almost fuel the story when it starts dying down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that she would be allowed to do a video between now and election day?
They got a red, white, and blue flag behind her back. Just really lean into it, you know?
But sort of like raising money for campaign funds. You know what I mean? We need this campaign funds.
It'd work.
It'd work. Everybody would watch. She would raise, if you made it like maybe even an OnlyFans $5 paywall, I think she would raise so much money with that. I'd pay $5 today, and I've only just
and we don't even live in Virginia.
Exactly.
So yeah. No, I think she's onto something.
And if she doesn't win the election, I really think like she can just fall back on this career. Like she's made a name for herself. She stands out from the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
This story is great for business for her, no matter which direction it takes her.
Yeah, it made her more popular than ever.
Yes.
And I'm slightly intrigued.
Me too. And her and her husband, they're good-looking cats,
I was going to say, they're kind of hot.
They're kind of hot.
Kind of hot. I would check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I was searching.
Okay, well.
That's why I had nothing really to say for the NSYNC story or the Aaron Rodgers story. Because I was too busy trying to research, trying to find these videos. They're hard to find.
Oh, well, they did good.
But they are findable.
Okay. Okay, well.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Charlie.
It's good to have you on the other side of the desk.
Thank you. I'll come back sometime.
Please, please. Okay, guys. Thanks very much for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.